Hello, this is James Smith at GannAnalysis.net. Today I want to show you high-low degree angles and square outs. So if we anchor from this low here back in March of 2020 and we anchor from this high, we're going to send the Gann fan down from that high, and where the lines cross the level of the prior swing low, that's called a square out. It means that the market is potentially going to turn. So in this case, you had a square out in early January of this year. It was a low and we rallied. In this case, you had a square out back in July of last year. You bottomed on this pink line, which is a 3x1 down, and then you rallied back. So it gave you a low. This one gave you a low. And if we go further out, we'll see other turns. But before we do that, let me show you something else. Actually, if you look at this, February 9th, 2024, just over a little bit less than a year from now, there's going to be some sort of turn. We don't know what that will be. It's a little far out to know, but, we like the fact that you got close to the 1x1. We're using a scale of 10 points per week. We started to turn down. We like the fact that you found resistance at a 50% retracement. From this high to this low, half the distance would be 4115. Finding resistance there back here in December, again in February, and now we're threatening the Fibonacci support at 4,000. Close below that, it's bearish. If you really wanted to be bullish, you'd want to close above this 1x1 line. But, we got a couple of things going on here. We've got sort of, I call it time support. Selling off into this square out gave us a low. This one gave you a low. But it doesn't always have to be a low. It could be a high. But, that'll depend on what the market's doing. So if we break out above this line, maybe we could go higher into February of next year. If you fail at this line, or you fail at the 50% mark, and then you subsequently close below this Fibonacci level at 4,000, yeah, you're probably headed down. So it's not so much a forecasting tool, it's like a roadmap. You come to these points where you either have to take a left or a right. You got to change direction. As that happens, you had this point right here where you saw it sell off and then it started to rally, so you knew the market would go up. You got to this point, 50% mark, it failed 3 weeks in a row. You knew that it was showing weakness. So there's never 100% certainty in the market, but if you follow these Gann charts, you get a better roadmap of what's really going on. So this is the same chart. I pulled in this square out back here. January, it looks like January of 2027. So that's pretty far out. But the 1x1, where it crosses the level of that prior swing low back here in March of 2020, that's a square out. It's going to be some sort of turn. We'll have a better idea what that's going to be as we get closer to 2027. So that's just a quick and dirty overview of how to use the high-low degree angles and square outs. You could do this without software. You just have to know what your scale is and then follow along where it crosses the level of a prior swing low. You have the potential for a turn, and like I said, we call that a square out. So I hope this has been helpful. If you're interested, think about registering to my website, www.GannAnalysis.net. I do give you access to some free reports. They're not always the latest reports, but you get some free reports. And then if you like what you see, think about subscribing. Thanks for your attention.